It's hard to believe it's 5 days ago that straight line storm just hit Houston.
Which now I found out is called
so many power.
derecho. In Spanish, it means straight. But I saw this grid. Maybe it came up on y'all's Instagram or y'all's social media channels about the things that we've survived.
Mm-hmm.
Derecho, I guess, if you're not a Spanish speaker.
Oh. It's a straight line storm.
2015, we had the Memorial Day flood. 2016, we had the Tex Day flood. 2017, we had Harvey. 2019, there was Tropical Storm Imelda. 2020, there was Tropical Storm Beta. I don't remember this other than COVID, the chaos of that. Maybe I missed it. 2021, the grid collapsed due to the freeze. 2022, extreme summer heat and the drought. 2023, the hottest summer on record. And 2024, it says derecho.
Don't put Roula in charge of our tourism marketing.
Every year.
Come on down to Houston. There you go.
You're
I'm
liable to
saying
hit
that's
one of those.
That's what I saw on socials, and I know that a lot of people who are joining us here on the Roula and Ryan show, like yesterday, we had Mary call in, and she said that we are her only source of any information because she has no power, she has nothing, and that she just listens to the radio on this old analog radio they found, and that's how they can catch KRBE.
With batteries.
We wanted to talk to somebody human because so many times now it's very hard to find a human, and we want to know what is happening and give you some insight, especially if you are without power here on the Roula and Ryan show. The last one to not have power is Special K. He does not have power yet. I got power last night, but only on half my street. The other half doesn't have
Where'd you live, Kev?
I live in the Heights, and that's where that derecho straight line just creamed us. The house across the street is flattened on the ground. So I'm
it's a
so
lot
very
of
lucky.
Down power lines is what you're seeing.
Yes, I have all of my delivery lines and my home connection lines are all on the ground in my backyard.
Wow. Well, Logan Anderson hopefully can give us some insight. Logan Anderson is the Texas Senior Communications Specialist for CenterPoint Energy, born and raised Houstonian, and joining us now. Good morning, Logan.
Good morning. I am excited to be here with you guys.
Well, thank you for
Morning.
being here with us. How many people now are without power? That number, you guys really took it down fast.
Yeah, so I'm looking at our most up-to-date numbers right now, and it is showing that right now we have a little bit over 140,000 customers who remain out.
140,000.
So,
Which is still crazy because there's a lot of cities that's all they have is 140,000 people.
But at its height, how many people lost their power initially?
so at its height, more than 920,000 people lost their power.
And we were saying, Logan, off the air, how, yesterday, especially on the air, we were talking about often on the air, how hard the linemen are working that have come in from all these other states to help get these power lines up. But when you're trying to repair a transformer that doesn't have the nerve center tower working, the transformer can be fixed, but you still won't have power because that nerve center tower in Cypress or wherever that was in Off 99, we saw them all like toppled over. Mm-hmm. What's the update on those? Or what can you say to people who saw transformers getting repaired and they still don't have power?
So a couple of different things. The first is that I can tell you I am a lifelong Houstonian, but this is my first time as a CenterPoint employee experiencing a storm. I've been with the company about 6 months, and the linemen are the hardest working people I have ever met. I have had the chance to interact with so many people out in the field over the past couple of days, and these crews are the most dedicated. They are completely in on making sure that we are doing everything we can to get Houston back up and running and get the lights on. And that doesn't just include our CenterPoint employees. That also includes the 5,000 mutual aid assistance workers who have come in from other utilities in other states.
Oh, wow.
We've had 5,000 people come in. And honestly, one of the most remarkable parts of this process for me has been to see the logistical planning that takes place when you put out the call for aid. Because Thursday night, as we realized the impact of the storm, and something I do want to note that the team has emphasized for me is that we have seen Category 2 hurricane-like winds. And the last time we saw that kind of damage on the system was with Hurricane Ike. And with Hurricane Ike, the team is telling me that they had about 2 weeks, 10 days out to plan. With this, we got about 15 minutes of warning.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I know, because, Logan, we were saying that even as longtime Houstonians, there are a lot of storms we've been through, but this one took everybody by surprise.
We thought it was
just
gonna be
a
rain.
rainstorm.
Yeah.
So you have
Yeah,
15
it was
minutes to figure out the
shocking.
plan of, oh my God, almost 1 million people are out of power.
Now, Logan.
So what does that have to do
Yeah.
with those towers that fell over? Like, what's the update of those towers we've seen on the news so much?
What I was going to say about the towers is I was out there a couple days ago, and remarkably, incredibly, thanks to the mutual assistance workers who come in, do their mandatory rest period, and then because we have so many people, we're able to work in shifts. those transmission towers are standing. They have been standing for 2 days now. They got them all the way, but they completely rebuilt them from the ground up. And it's incredible to see. The teams, the way the mutual assistance works is once they come in, they get onboarded. They have a mandatory 8 hours of rest. And then we're able to train them, get them their safety equipment, and hit the ground running. And so thanks to that, we have been able to have people round the clock, 24 hours a day in shifts out doing repairs.
What does a nested outage mean?
A nested outage?
A nested outage. A lot of people getting that alert that it's a nested outage.
Yeah, so a nested outage is something that happens based on the fact that our system is so smart and so up to date. So the way our system works currently is there are little devices basically near every transformer or placed strategically along different points in the line, and they'll communicate with our system. So by the time your power goes out, we have an alert usually before you have an alert. But when the system takes such heavy damage, it's unable to send as much information back to us. And so a nested outage is what happens when we're able to restore a larger part of the system, maybe a circuit, maybe a transformer, maybe it's even an individual line to a home, but there is still an issue that we have not been able to identify that is preventing that home from taking power. So it means that we've restored the larger outage, but there is a smaller outage nested within it. And people who are experiencing nested outages, who have gotten a notification that their power has been turned back on, but are still sitting in the dark, should reach out to us, because right now we are dispatching crews to try to fix those issues. And so we are urging people to get in contact with us.
Because you need to know if you're in a pocket where it didn't actually hit. Let me ask you a question.
Exactly.
By the way, let me reintroduce you, Logan, because people are tuning in all the time. Logan Anderson is speaking to us from CenterPoint Energy. She's giving us some insight on what's happening with these pockets of power that we're getting back, and then some people don't have it. Where should people contact you if they are in a zone where they got the alert? Hey, you got power, but they're like, nah, our house is still dark. Where do we go for that?
Yeah, so people should call us at 713-207-2222 to report a nested outage. And I am going to urge people not to tie up the line, because we are still doing emergency dispatch, and we are trying to get as many people on as quickly as possible. But we do need to know where those nested outages are taking place, so please reach out.
Special K has a question for you, Logan. He's the one on the show that still has no power. He's in the Heights.
My question is, since I have actual power lines laying in my yard, one of them is the delivery line and the other two are house connection lines. My fear is that when they power up the rest of the neighborhood, will those lines come alive and start arcing in my driveway?
Oh, man, that's scary.
That is a very, very scary prospect, and we would hope not. We do urge you, if you see any down lines, stay 35 feet away and immediately call CenterPoint at 713-207. Have you been getting close to the power line?
Listen, they fell on my truck. And
wow.
Yeah, and so they're laying across my truck, and I have testers out the wazoo because I do construction on the side. So I went close to it and ran my tester across it, and they were dead. So I backed my truck away from it.
Most
and
people
then,
don't just go up to it.
And then we cut the
don't
trees.
do that.
Okay, wait. There's one more thing that a lot of people need to know, and you can back me up on this. On top of all of our houses, there's a little pipe that comes out where the electricity connects to. If anyone has that pipe damaged, you want to explain what they need to do?
Absolutely. So if you have damage, and the pipe that he's talking about is called your weatherhead. It's a place where power enters your home. And so if you have damage to your weatherhead, we are not able to safely re-energize your home until that has been repaired by a licensed electrician.
Wow.
So
that's
we have
on you. That's on us.
Yeah.
We've got to hire an
No,
electrician.
is it?
Yes. It's
Okay.
on me. It's on
How
me.
do I know if I have a damaged weatherhead?
You can
I
see
can't
it.
see up there.
No, you see.
Oh,
You can see
everybody
it.
can
If
see
it's
it?
knocked over,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
bent.
Yeah, it's a big pipe that sticks out the top of
Some
your
people might never notice, but
roof,
you
and
see
it connects to the lines on the tower. I'm sorry, on the not telephone pole, power lines behind your house.
So then, Logan, if I have a damage, what's it called again?
Weatherhead.
And I contact an electrician, and he tells me, well, I can't get out there to fix that for like 4 days. Maybe my street would get power, but then I just won't because that weatherhead is damaged.
You need
correct?
to keep calling electricians, Roula.
Yeah. Well, it's not
Well,
for me.
so-
I'm just saying somebody listening.
A lot of people are texting. They want to know, Logan, why we can't bury the lines in Houston, or is it too expensive, or is it because our ground
Because
sucks?
this is going to happen again and again.
Like I know other countries, my father-in-law was saying that when the countries he worked in, that they buried everything. Why can't we do that here?
That's a really good question. And part of the system in Houston is undergrounded. In case people didn't know, downtown's infrastructure is underground.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you ever see downtown lit up after a storm, it's not because they got restored first. It's usually because they didn't experience as heavy of an outage, apologies, as other areas did. However, not only is undergrounding very expensive and not feasible in some areas because of, well, for various reasons. But undergrounding, when a system is underground, that means that it is actually underground and it is like a big grid. So our system has gotten very smart. We can do a lot of things with our above ground lines communicating with our computer systems. But when there is an issue with an underground system, a human person has to go out and repair it, and it takes much longer. So
To dig it
if
up.
we underground, if we underground the lines, it does make repairs a lot more difficult when issues do come up. And that is not to discount that it is also very, very expensive. And, there are ways that we can improve, and we have been improving the resiliency of our above ground infrastructure. It's just hard to prepare for Category 2 like storms that happen in a 15-minute
the medical
period.
center, like the medical center, like Greenway Plaza area, those they seem to never really lose power. Is it
So
because
the medical center is identified as an area of critical care. And so, they're in the middle of life-saving surgeries.
Right.
They're in the middle of
is that underground
deliveries.
too?
No, so the medical center is not underground, but it is on a system that does get back up as quickly as possible.
Cool.
Okay, that's good to know.
So if you
as
have a
they
house, try
should.
and get one near the medical center.
Yeah, I guess on that grid.